This latest tweet from Evan Rachel Wood about Kobe Bryant and the situation that he had in Colorado in 2003 is the picture-perfect example of the half-baked METOO movement and how it condemns people forever. No matter what happened afterwards, no matter where the truth really lies, you will always be condemned to these people. You will always be guilty to these people. Always. And it doesn't matter. So that's why when people like Elizabeth Banks says believe women, I gag. I throw up a little bit in my mouth because of shit like this. Because once you start just blindly believing people, it never, ever, ever leaves you. Ever. Let's talk a little bit more about it. So, you already know by now, everybody knows, Kobe Bryant and his daughter and 7 other passengers passed away in a freak helicopter accident over the last weekend. And LA is pretty much in a state of shock and a state of mourning. A lot of Lakers fans out there are showing their support and appreciation for Kobe. And, showing their support to his wife, Vanessa, who is now a single mom to 3 young girls. One as young as, I believe, 7 months or somewhere along those lines. And Evan Rachel Wood, star of the HBO hit show Westworld, took it upon herself with her moral privilege to remind everyone that Kobe Bryant was accused of rape back in 2003. But she didn't say it just like that. She didn't say, oh, well, guys, he was a great basketball player and was accused of rape back in 2003. A charge that never stuck, by the way, because eventually what ended up happening was the woman didn't want to testify about what actually went down. A little backstory. Back in 2003, Kobe Bryant was in Colorado, and a front desk girl from over there, and him started talking and whatnot. Eventually, he invited her over to his hotel room, which she went to his hotel room. This led to a sexual encounter, which he admitted to. He admitted to having an adulterous sexual encounter with this female. She claims that it was not consensual, and he claims that it was consensual. And it was a matter of he said, she said. She submitted herself to a voluntary rape kit and a lie detector, and charges were pressed against Kobe. Eventually, after 14 months, the case went absolutely nowhere. And at some point during that whole process, the accuser decided to not testify against Kobe in the trial, which completely hampered pretty much what they could do. There's no reason why stated out there and whatnot, but it is assumed by some people that the reason she didn't was because of fear of being cross-examined. The case eventually was dismissed, the criminal side of it. There was a civil case that was brought in, and if you don't know, in criminal cases, there is a burden of proof that the state has to provide in order to, beyond a reasonable doubt, convict you of a certain crime. Well, in a civil case, it's not like that at all. They don't have to find you guilty. That's why OJ got free in criminal, but he was completely mauled in the civil case, because that same statute, that same burden doesn't exist between criminal and civil. And so a lot of times criminal cases can be completely dismissed or thrown away, and the person can still be in a civil court found liable and so forth for the actual crime and made to make reparations, which is what happened with O.J. Simpson. With Kobe Bryant, he ended up selling out of court for $2.4 million with this girl. And he bought Vanessa, his wife, a crazy looking rock. He says, sorry, baby. Because he did admit to having an affair on his wife. Him and Vanessa remained married up until the day of his death. And they had a few more children after that. 2003. Actually, I think they had all of their children beyond that point. So, and Kobe retired and so forth. So Evan Rachel Wood, the moral justice authority of the METOO movement, Evan Rachel Wood, if I'm not mistaken, also has accused someone else of raping her. So this is something. So she's very sensitive to this issue because she claims, I don't know the accuser or anything like that. I wasn't there. She claims that she was also a victim of rape. So let's read a little bit here. Actress Evan Rachel Wood sparked a huge backlash for calling Kobe Bryant a rapist just hours after his death. So the actual tweet itself was this: he was a sports hero. He was also a rapist. See, and this is where I have an issue with Evan Rachel Wood. She definitively says that this man is a rapist. That she has no context. She has no idea. She was never there for any of the trial. She doesn't know the accuser. Nothing. There is not a shred of evidence that she has seen herself to make this claim. He was never found guilty by a jury of his peers. There was no video of him doing this. Nothing. There's not even the small amount that's saying that he was a rapist. He claims it was a consensual encounter. She claims that it wasn't. That is the meat and potatoes of this entire thing, and it was settled. It was settled. She comes out, though. This is 2003 was when this happened, so this would be, we're in 2020. What is that? 17 years? 17 years later, and calls this guy a rapist. She has absolutely no idea whatsoever what this guy is. She has no idea what this guy has done. She has no idea how this makes his family feel. The surviving members of his family, to have a Hollywood actress come out and say something like this at a moment where this woman, Vanessa Bryant, has lost not only her husband of nearly 20 years, if not 20 years, not only her husband, but her 13-year-old daughter. And you see, that's where my big issue is with things like the METOO movement. Number one, it condemns people no matter what. No matter what the facts are of the case, it will condemn you for the rest of your life. If you are accused, not if you are found guilty, if you are accused, you will be condemned for the rest of your life. Number two is that there is no gray area for these people. There's none whatsoever. No gray area for these people. It's so black and white when life is not black and white. When sexual relationships are not black and white. When we as people, the way that we treat other people is not on and off black or white. It's just not. But to them, it is. To them, it is. There is no gray area for them. And the funny thing is that it becomes black and white only in the sense that it suits their personal agenda. Their personal agenda. What she said was hurtful, not to the dead person. Because Kobe Bryant, unfortunately, is not alive to hear it, or to see it, or to read it. The only people that she hurts is a person who had nothing to do with it. Because we know one thing, 110%, Vanessa Bryant did not rape that woman. She wasn't even there. And what that tweet does, if it ever got back to her, and I'm sure that she's at the point right now, she could care less what Evan Rachel Wood says. But if it ever got back to her, that's the only person that you're hurting. The only person. And you don't think about that before you do it, especially when you're a public figure who probably has hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter. And some of them more likely not cross-pollinate with, Kobe Bryant fans. 17 years ago, by a 19-year-old employee, this Kathleen Curtin replied in disgust, and this is where the METOO movement has gotten out of control, attacking a man who literally just died less than 24 hours ago with his little girl. Wes Hatton says, accused actors of turning METOO into a joke. METOO is absolutely a joke now. It's a fucking meme at this point. Because of shit just like this. Just like this. The insensitivity of these people. The way that they treat the living. It's disgusting. It really is. And I understand that Evan Rachel Wood, again, would probably be very sensitive to this particular issue because she has expressed that there's been some things that have happened to her. But there's no excuse for this. No excuse. Amy Starkey says, she voiced my thoughts when I heard the news. But this is what's the unfortunate thing about that whole situation, is that these were your thoughts. The first thing that you thought of, and not even in a joking manner, the first thing that you thought of was this. And the truth is that you have no idea if this is something that this man actually did. You have no idea. Let's look at the facts of the case. Fact of the case is that she was invited to the hotel room. She wasn't forced into the hotel room. She came on her own volition. With her own 2 feet, she walked into that hotel room. And what happened there, he claims was consensual. She claims wasn't consensual. We weren't there to tell. And they settled it. And to think that you have some sort of moral right 24 hours, less than 24 hours after a man dies with his child, to say something like that in a public forum. Twitter is a public forum. To sit there and say something like that proves just how delusional, just how self-righteous, and just how big of a piece of shit you could possibly be. Now, I'm sure Evan Rachel Wood will probably apologize. As a survivor who had to watch other people express sorrow when my rapist died, while all I could feel was relief and then guilt for that, Evan spoke for me, and I appreciate it. Except that you don't know this is what happened. Stop equating your situation with someone else's situation. You don't know what this is what happened. It's a shame. It really is a shame that people just are so ingrained in themselves that they could view the world this way. They could be so self-righteous that they see the world as disgusting. And I'm saddened by it. I really am. I am saddened by the fact that I have to live in a world with these people that think it's okay, that think it's fine to condemn, to chastise, to speak about someone in this way when they don't even have the facts, when they don't even know what happened. They know nothing about this. Yet you think you have the fucking authority to say things when you don't know anything. When you don't know shit, just shut the fuck up. That's all you have to do. Anyway, that's that. Guys, if you like the content on this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. And please leave your comment in the section down below. And like I said, I'm just sick of this, man. I'm sick of this rush to judgment with people. And I'm sick of just this whole... It's just a bad way, man. It's just a bad way to live life. But, what the fuck are you gonna do, right? Again, catch you guys later.